Hello, this is Tom Still from the Wisconsin Technology Council. Thank you for joining us for today's edition of WisBusiness.com, the show. The show is produced by the Tech Council in partnership with WisBusiness.com and with the help of our sponsors, the Wisconsin Economic Development Corp and Exact Sciences. Tom Still back with you with the show. On January 9th, just yesterday, we held a forum in Milwaukee featuring five leaders from higher education in the region, and really the five. And so it was an excellent discussion talking about how their various institutions really add to the Milwaukee area economy. Coming up January 28th, we're going to talk about innovation beyond startups, how bigger companies do it. You'll hear some examples involving larger corporations. This is going to be in a new location, One City Schools in Madison. So check our website for registration information and more. Also on our calendar moving ahead, our Tech Summit. Our annual Tech Summit will be held in a new location this year, American Family Field in Milwaukee, and that'll be March 17th. June 4th and 5th, we'll have our Wisconsin Entrepreneurs Conference at Monona Terrace Convention Center in Madison. And we'll be back at Monona Terrace November 4th, 5th, and 6th for the Wisconsin Early Stage Symposium. And the Wisconsin Innovation Awards will take place on night one. That is a process that we're managing this year, and we're really looking forward to the competition. Just a reminder, my Inside Wisconsin columns are published once a week, and you can go to our website and see the list of what I've been writing on. And it's usually involving things in the tech and economic development world here in Wisconsin. Next up, we're going to hear from Karthiekeyan of Phoenix Aid LLC. This is a company that did really well in the November Early Stage Forum. In fact, so well that they were selected for the Startup World Cup that will be held this year. I'm still from the Tech Council back with you for this edition of WisBusiness.com, the show. Our guest today, Karthiekeyan, Phoenix Aid LLC, which is out of Oshkosh. They were one of about 24 companies that took part in the main pitch stage at our recent Wisconsin Early Stage Symposium in Madison. In fact, they were selected from that group to move on to the Startup World Cup whenever that happens in 2025. They have produced a patented nanocomposite wound dressing for underserved markets such as South India. And they've been approved for clinical trials there, especially around diabetic foot ulcers. So welcome, Ash, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Well, absolutely. First, tell us how this works. And, how long, what does a typical foot dressing help with? What are some of the things? And then how long might it last with an individual?
Yeah, so typically these types of wounds are called chronic wounds, and they last for a very long time. So to even be considered chronic, they have to be on the body for at least 3 months, usually. In some cases, even years. And so what we're trying to do is replace what they consider the standard of care, which is essentially a bulky combination of foot ointments and gauzes, very bulky foot wrap, which is very cumbersome and has low patient compliance. And so our product is very thin, as you can see. It's very easy to apply. It's something that the patient themselves, in many cases, they can apply themselves. It's designed to last 3 to 5 days, whereas the current standard of care usually has to be replaced every 18 to 36 hours. So the pores in this are actually 3 to 5 nanometers in diameter. So even viruses are bigger than that.
And affordable too is my guess.
That's the biggest thing. It's actually designed to be about half the cost of the standard of care.
Excellent. Now, you're an aerospace engineer, and a lot of people would say, well, why is an aerospace engineer involved in a medical product? But you're sort of right behind the composite development. Is that correct?
Yeah. So my dad's actually a material physicist, and he had a couple Wisconsin spin-off companies. And so I was sort of piggybacking on him, and wanted aerospace engineering. So Oshkosh is home to EAA, which is the world's biggest air vent. And so I really wanted to join the aerospace industry. So I went for aerospace engineering, but my interest was always aerospace materials. And I was working with my dad, and I started working on his nanomaterials, and that's how I kind of got dragged onto the nanomaterial side. What I'm working on right now is a very complicated materials problem that's specified for biomaterials. So it's all related.
Yeah,
engineering.
all ties together. And talk just a little bit about the skill sets and the rest of your team.
Yeah, we have a really great team from manufacturing backgrounds here in Wisconsin to industry backgrounds who have heavily dealt with people in the Native American industry who are dealing with this problem. Or in India, for example, we're actually partnered with the #1 hospital for diabetic foot care. It also happens to be the oldest hospital for diabetes. And so we have podiatric surgeons and diabetologists and a couple of research scientists who are all heavily involved in bringing this product to the market, as well as the clinical trials and preclinical studies that we've already completed.
Excellent. Yeah, and obviously diabetes is a worldwide problem. I mean, I understand why you would start in India just because of the concentration of population there and other factors. But at the same time, there might be other markets. I'm just wondering about, for example, here in the United States, I know your executive summary mentioned Native American populations. So, talk a little bit about that.
We've already looked explored, as you mentioned, Native American populations. I took several trips to Colorado, Montana, and talked to the local population there. And there are even more rural populations, or even an application that we were considering after Mentor pushed us to this was trauma boots for military applications.
Yeah, another potential use. So, well, again, thanks, Ash, for joining us today. Ashwin Karthiekeyan with Phoenix Aid LLC, which is based out of Oshkosh, but on its way to a worldwide impact. So, thank you, Ash.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks again to our sponsors, the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation and Exact Sciences. We'll see you next time.